right, what is up, y'all? Good morning, welcome back. It's currently about 9:30 in the morning. It's Saturday. We just dropped the boat in the water. We're about to head out and do a little bit of fishing. So I think we're gonna go try for some trout and then maybe some sheepshead, redfish, just really anything that bites. Like I said, it's a beautiful day. Whenever we get out there, I'll turn the camera on and show you exactly how calm it is, but there is no wind. It's like 70 degrees, so it's amazing. Y'all stick with it, stay tuned. Let's go out here and see if we can catch some. Well, we have a completely new plan here. We were gonna run way down to East Bay to this great little winter spot over there, deep hole, deep oyster, all that stuff. But we actually hit bottom coming out of the boat ramp on the dike. So it's super shallow right now. The full moon last night, it has the tide super high and super low, and right now they're super low. Anyways, we just ran down the ship channel. We're heading to West Bay, but we decided to stop in the ship channel here and fish at the flounder spots over here. Now it is January 7th. I doubt if there's really a lot of flounder left, if any, but a lot of times this time of year it's just those small males, but occasionally people do catch some big keepers. So we're gonna cast in here for a minute, see if there's anything. I'm gonna throw around a gulp, and if not, we'll continue to head down to West Bay. So all we're starting out with here is a 1/4 ounce jig head and a gulp mantis shrimp. You can use a gulp curly tail, swimming mullet, whatever they're called. Anything like that, this is what we have right here. And we're just gonna make a few casts up against these rocks you can see behind us, and up against that seawall over to that side. And the goal for flounder is to just cast right up on it as close as you can get, and ideally they'll be laying right on the rocks or right on the structure, but that's the plan. Okay, so we just pulled up to the next spot. We didn't catch any flounder, so I'm not even gonna put any of those clips in here, but we're out here in West Bay now, and what we have is pretty much a deep hole on this side, about 11, 12 feet, deep hole on that side, about 11, 12 feet, and then right here where we are, we're up on this oyster reef, where it comes up to probably about 2 feet at the highest point, 1.5 feet, 2 feet. And so what we're doing is we're just fishing the edge of that oyster reef where it starts to dip back down into that 11-foot hole, hoping to find those trout sitting up on it. I'm just slowly using the trolling motor to go this way, just right along that edge, and see if we can pick up anything. I think we're at slack tide right now, so it's probably pretty slow, but if we put this lure in front of them, they should eat it. I'm throwing just a little voodoo shrimp right here. Water's nice and clear. We're gonna see if we can get hooked into something. So we fished a few other spots, didn't catch anything, haven't had a bite all day yet. We decided to head out here to the jetty, but the weather has changed a little bit. Let me turn the camera around and show y'all. So we're at the South Jetty right now, and we have a big rain cloud above us. Super rough getting out here too, but there's still no wind, but you can see the rain hitting the water. We're gonna try to catch some sheepshead out here along these rocks, throwing some live shrimp, and we'll probably move up and down and see if we can find some fish. Okay, y'all, while we're sitting here eating a piece of fried chicken, and all of a sudden my rod started to bend over. We're out at the jetty. We moved over to the north jetty from the south because it's too rough over there. Water looks like sweet tea, but I got a sheepshead in the boat, a nice keeper right there, and that's what we were going for. I'm gonna throw him in the cooler, get another shrimp, and try to catch another one. Anyways, though, first fish of the day, and it's a keeper. That's a good sign. Got one.
Another one, huh?
Oh!
Lost it?
Yeah, I lost him. Well, that was another bite right there, guys. Line went slack. I felt it moving down there, set the hook, came off. It's all right, though. That's a good sign. There seems to be a hole right here. When you cast over there, it only takes a second or two if your bait hit the bottom, second or two. And then here, it takes like 4 or 5. Seems super deep. I'm gonna put another one out in that same little area, see if we can hook into that fish. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm using right here. So I have a 20-pound leader, and I just have a single drop rig tied up. So all I got is a 1 ounce weight, 1 or 2 ounce depending on the current, sometimes 1/2 ounce. Right now I'm using a 1. Go up here, Got my knot cut off to a little bitty circle hook. And all we're doing is taking a live shrimp, a small live shrimp, hooking it through the head right there. Make sure you don't hit the black part. That'll kill them. And that's a good little live shrimp right there. Shrimp aren't really feisty today. They're a little lethargic coming from the bait shop, but we're just taking it. I'm actually not even fishing it that close to the rocks. Usually for sheepshead, I'd be casting as close as possible, but right now I'm just casting it out maybe 10 feet from the rocks, letting it hit the bottom, putting it in the rod holder. And that's how I got that last bite, and that's how I caught the one before that. Now I have another rod right here with a free line shrimp, but I'm about to tie the same rig onto this one to double up my chances. But it's not hot and heavy. It's definitely taking a while for them to find it. But hey, fish in the box is better than nothing. Got him, guys. That's a good one. Oh, he's not a big guy. Oh no, I do need the net. He's bigger. I thought he was, yeah. All right, we're gonna get the net on. Man, that thing only took, I just said it was taking a little bit longer for them to bite, but that thing bit after a couple seconds in the water. It's another keeper for the box. So we're gonna rig up another rod with the same thing. I'm gonna show you a little example of how I do it now. I just use whatever weight. This is just a weight I found in there. You should be using bank weights or whatever they're called, but this will work. It's gonna take this, we're gonna just take our line, loop it like that, and we're just gonna double it over, just like that. Take the end 2 times through the hole, pull tight. That's the easiest way to tie a single drop rig. You just take your hook right here, you push both pieces of that line through there. You go out with it, open it up, over the hook, pull back down, and you're rigged up and ready to fish. Easy as that. I think I just saw this get a bite. Got me snagged. I'm out. Check the bait. No, it's still there. I'm gonna get a new shrimp, a lively one. This one died on me. We'll toss it back out. Okay, hooking up another shrimp. And whenever I'm fishing for sheepshead, I like to use little shrimp. The smaller shrimp, the better. Said, ugh. Just gonna take this guy and run it through his head. Make sure we're not hitting the brain. And that's a good lively one. All right, toss him in a little hole right here. Let it sink all the way down. Once it hits, click in, rod holder, and ready to fish. Yep, had a bite right there. My rod started bouncing, I grabbed it and lost my shrimp. So we just pulled up to a new spot down the jetty. We moved down probably about 200 yards. Thank you. Oh, that's a good one. That's a real good one. As you can see, there's a lot of this weird grass in here. And the water is, like I said a minute ago, sweet tea colored. The grass just started moving real heavy, but that's all right. I'm actually gonna hold the rod this time, so if I get a bite, I'm not gonna miss it. It's just hard with all this seaweed. Kind of gotta cast around it. Yeah, that's good. I believe I'm getting bit right here. Got him. That's a good one. That's a real good one. There he is. Oh, that's a big one. Dude, that's a big sheepshead. Woo! Oh! That's the biggest one yet. It's crazy, guys. Usually when you're out here, you'll catch sheepshead right up on the rocks, but I'm catching them like halfway in between the rocks and the boat, so like 5 yards away from it. Man, this, I got a bite a minute ago, threw back in the same spot, just got a bite again, and we definitely don't need to measure that guy. That is a big sheepshead. I'm gonna throw him in the cooler with the other two. Okay, we're gonna check our line because sheepshead, if you don't know, have giant teeth, big human-like teeth, and they can chomp actually right through hooks, and they can really chomp up your line. We got a new shrimp rigged up right here. Got our rod right. And we're just gonna flip it right out here again. Open the bail till it hits the bottom. Boom, we're done. And I'm not having any luck when I hold it, only when I set it down. Sometimes that's just how it goes. So we'll set it down, and I will wait. And all we're looking for is for that rod to shake, or for it to go very slack, or obviously for it to just get bent right in half by a big old sheepshead. But all right, it's a waiting game. Okay, we just pulled up to our last spot. The jetty's died out. As quick as that bite picked up, it fell off. Pulled to these little platforms in the bay. That's a dike right there, not too far from it. A bunch of these little platforms, gas wells, whatever they are out here. And the current is absolutely ripping. So I don't even know if we're gonna be able to fish this. Just rigged up right here, and what I threw on, I had to retie because I lost my weight at the jetty, but I tied on a 2-ounce pyramid because that current is ripping so bad. 1 ounce definitely won't get down, and 2 ounce might have some trouble, but got some frayed line here. Hopefully it'll hold. Let's just sit it down and see what happens. It's pretty frayed though. I'm gonna regret it whenever I lose a 8-pound sheepshead. Let's grab a live shrimp. Good one. All right, let's send him way down there. Because there's a lot of current, I'm gonna hook this guy by the tail. Make less drag on the line. See if we can get it around this piling. I'm on bottom. So we've decided that there's just way too much current to fish here. It's ripping by, as you can see. We can't even get a bait on bottom, not even close. So we're gonna call it a day. It's probably about 4 in the afternoon. We're gonna head in, go get the boat cleaned up, and I'll see y'all at the house to clean these fish. I don't know what we're gonna be making yet, but this is gonna be a catch and cook. So we'll definitely be throwing something together in the kitchen. Y'all stay tuned, and I'll see y'all back at the house. All right, y'all, so we are back in the kitchen now, and today we're gonna be making something really good. So we have our sheepshead right here flayed out, and today we're gonna be making a sheepshead fish chowder. So something that I've never made before, but I think it's gonna be super tasty. I do like clam chowder, but I've never had a fish chowder. So I'm gonna go over the ingredients real quick, show you what we're gonna be putting in it, and then I'll show you how we're making it. So to start, of course, like I already showed y'all, we have our sheepshead right here. We are gonna be dicing those up into little chunks for the soup. And then over here, we have some bacon that we're gonna be rendering down, a little bit of butter, because you could use bacon or butter, but we're just gonna use both because we love butter around here. We have some oregano, some thyme, and a little bit of bay leaves right here. That's our seasonings. Then we're gonna be putting some corn in it because corn is always good in chowder. The other produce that we have right here is some white potatoes. I do wish I had more potatoes, but sadly I only had like 4 of them. Then we have some onion and some celery that we're gonna be sauteing up first. Then we have a little bit of dill right here to add in at the end. Some chicken stock, some clam juice, because every single recipe I looked up adds clam juice. And then we have some flour to thicken it all up. So without further ado, let me get the pot out, get it heating up, and let's start making this delicious fish chowder. So we have our bacon right here, about 3 to 4 slices, and we chopped it up. We're just gonna throw it in this real hot pan. And we're gonna let all that bacon grease just pour out of it. And that's gonna be the base right there that we're gonna saute the vegetables in. You can take a look right here and see the bacon has let all that grease right out of it. We got quite a bit in the bottom of the pan, actually more than I was expecting. So next thing we're gonna do is add 2 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna let that melt. As soon as all that butter melts down, we'll go straight in with the celery and onion. So let's go ahead and grab that and dump it in. All right, I probably should have put the potatoes in a different pot because they're not going in yet, but we'll try to shovel in some of this onion without the potatoes. We might get 1 or 2 casualties, but that's all right. Some celery. Some people put carrot in this. I don't feel like putting carrots in it today. All right, I'm gonna fight these potatoes for the rest of this onion, but all we're doing is sauteing this for 3 or 4 minutes, so we'll get back to y'all when that's done. So while those vegetables are sauteing over there, we're gonna cut our sheepshead into chunks here. Now, if you are gonna make a fish chowder, I do recommend using a firmer fish, sheepshead, redfish, drum, all that's good stuff. You don't want it to fall apart too much in the pot. So we're just gonna take it and we're gonna cut it into little chunks like that. We might even make it a little bit smaller. Might do a little something like that. So we want them to all be pretty much the same size so they all cook at the same speed and they're all done at the same time. We got 3 more fillets right here to chop up, so I don't want to bore you with that. I'm gonna finish that up, then we'll go on to the next step. The vegetables are sauteed down perfectly. Next thing we're gonna do is add a little bit of flour. Now, in most recipes you look up, everyone's gonna add the flour, mix it with the clam juice, stir that together, whisk that together until it's combined, and then pour that in later. I'm just gonna do it first, as if I'm making like a biscuit or something, because I feel like this is gonna make it a lot creamier and add it later. So we're gonna add in about 2 heapings of flour, stir that in with our vegetables, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our potatoes and then our chicken stock to cover the top of it, and then we'll let that cook for about 10 minutes, let those potatoes start to get tender, and then we'll go on with the next step of the recipe. The vegetables have soaked up all that flour there. As you can see, the pot's nice and dry. We're gonna go in with all the potatoes. Like I said, I wish we had more potatoes. You're supposed to have probably about double that, but it's gonna have to work. We'll go in with the potatoes, and then we will go in with chicken broth. We might need to get another one out, or we might need to add a little bit of water. All right, as you can see, the vegetables are not covered by the broth. So we're gonna go ahead and add a cup of water, and hopefully that'll top it off. So here we are 12 minutes later. As you can see, it's starting to look good. Everything's coming together. The color has definitely changed. The vegetables are getting tender. So let's go ahead and start adding in everything else. So what we're gonna start with is a bay leaf in there. We're gonna go in with a little bit of oregano. Not too much. That should be good. We're gonna go in with a little bit of ground thyme. There we go. Just enough thyme. Okay. And then we're gonna go in with some ground black pepper right here. We're just gonna give it black pepper to taste. I like quite a bit of pepper. Now we're not gonna add salt yet because we are adding clam juice. So let's go ahead and pour some of this in. I think I should measure it out. We're gonna go in with a cup of clam juice, which I guess that's almost the whole thing. We made more than 1 recipe amount, so we're just gonna go ahead and add the whole thing. That's gonna give it a lot of salty, seafoody flavor. Okay, now that that's in there, let's give it a stir. Everything mixed together. And as you can see, it's already starting to turn a little silky. It's not just straight watered down anymore. That's good. Next thing I'm gonna add is some corn here, already drained. We'll pour all of that in. Should be fine. And last but not least, all of our sheepshead in nice cubes, as you can see. We'll dump these straight in. Try not to burn ourselves with the hot water. Okay, and then we'll fold it over. You don't want to stir it too much once it starts to cook, because that fish will fall apart. But as it's still kind of raw right now, we can just fold it in, get it in there. Get the heat right there so it'll simmer. And now we throw the lid on. Give it about 8 minutes, anywhere from like 6 to 10. So we'll go with about 8 minutes. That fish will be perfectly done. And the chowder will be ready to try out. Y'all stay tuned. It's been 8 minutes here. We're gonna see if our fish is done. See if we can scoop a little piece of the top. Oh, there it is. It's white, it has the opaque color to it, so that means our fish is done. All we're gonna do now is we're gonna add in a few squeezes of fresh lemon. Not too much, just freshen it up a little bit. Just like that. One more. And then one of my favorite herbs here, and that is dill. So we'll put in a whole bunch of dill right here. Gives it a good color. And then the very last thing we add before we serve it is some heavy cream. So This is gonna thicken it up and give it that white chowder consistency and color that you always see. Start with about that much, stir it around. And now that we've added the cream, we want to turn this down. You don't want it to boil once you've added the cream. Nothing more than a light simmer. But there we go. Hey, that's looking like chowder. All right, we're gonna let that go for about 2 minutes, let all that come together, and then we'll be ready to serve it up. Y'all stay tuned. Okay, the chowder is done right here. It looks really good. We're gonna go ahead and serve some up. So get some scoops from the bottom. You want to get the corn. And some big chunks of fish, and you can see that bacon still in there. We'll go for one more big scoop. Try to get some more fish. That's a good one. And then we'll just top it off with a bunch of the broth. Chowder out here. So it's very silky, but it's just not as thick as I like it, but it looks good. So it's super hot. Let's go in for a taste. Oh, really good. So I tasted it a minute ago and it didn't really have like that chowder taste, if you know what I'm talking about. Like whenever you have clam chowder or whatever, and it's like, yeah, that definitely tastes like chowder. It didn't have that a minute ago, but now that I'm tasting it outside of the pot, super good. It tastes just like chowder. So we'll go in for a piece of fish right here. A nice chunk of sheepshead. Go on that, give that a bite. Super good. The fish stayed together really well. Has a nice bite to it. And sheepshead, as y'all know, is a pretty sweet meat. It tastes more like crab than it does fish. And you can definitely taste that in here. It actually kind of tastes like shrimp mixed with the chowder and everything like that. So super good, guys. I highly recommend you try this out. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you're not already. If you are, like always, thank you guys so very much. That's all I have for y'all right now. And until next time, peace.